Paul officially has another win under his belt, but how exactly did he get this win against 38-year-old former UFC fighter Nate Diaz? Jake Paul is arguably the face of influencer boxing. Although he didn't start the trend, he's taken the bull by the horns to become one of the trend's most outstanding athletes. Before the YouTuber seriously took up boxing, he faced off with Deji, the little brother of British YouTuber and rapper KSI. The two made their boxing debut on the undercard of KSI vs Logan Paul back in 2018. Although Jake Paul got quite the bloody nose from the encounter, he defeated Deji and subsequently sparked his current hunger for taking on some of the biggest names in combat sports. Jake Paul would make a major leap in his boxing career with his fight and ultimate win against NBA star Nate Robinson. A high-profile match between the basketball pro and the budding YouTuber and boxer, this fight drew interested eyes. Paul managed to wear down Robinson near the end of the first round, but finally got the knockout in the second round. Paul upped the ante on his next opponent, former Olympic mixed martial artist Ben Askren. This marked Jake's first foray into a fight with a pro fighter, retired or not, and it set him up for another major win. Jake knocked out Ben in the first round of their April 2021 fight. Jake's next fight was against former 5-time UFC champ Tyron Woodley. This fight had all kinds of trash talk leading up to the fight, including a hilarious bet between the two opponents that would have Woodley getting "I love Jake Paul" tattooed on himself if he lost. And although we have no idea if Woodley actually kept up his end of the deal, Jake ended up taking yet another victory over the seasoned combat sports vet, winning the bout by split decision after going the full 8 rounds. Paul, however, wasn't pleased with the commission's ruling and wanted his knockout, which he later got in their eventual rematch. Initially, Jake was scheduled to take his next fight against British boxer and reality TV star Tom Fury, but a last-minute injury caused the Brit to bow out. As a last resort, Paul secured a rematch against Fury, and in December of 2021, he got his long-awaited knockout, knocking Woodley out in the 6th round to settle the score. In October 2022, Jake Paul had the biggest fight of his career thus far, stepping into the ring with Brazilian MMA star Anderson Silva. While Jake predicted he'd finish the fight by stoppage before the end of the 5th round, 47-year-old Silva managed to keep up and take it the distance. The decision went to the officials after 8 intense rounds, with Jake ultimately taking the win by unanimous decision. After multiple delays and issues, Jake finally stepped into the ring against Tom Fury in February of 2023. Jake had nearly fought Tommy twice prior to the actual fight. However, when the two did finally step into the ring together, Jake was served his first loss in his boxing career. Jake Paul has bounced back nicely from his first career loss by winning a unanimous decision against mixed martial arts star Nate Diaz in a boxing fight. The 26-year-old YouTube personality, who has turned himself into a prize fighter, clearly held the advantage for a majority of the 10-round event on Saturday night. However, Diaz, an MMA fighter who left the UFC in 2022, was on the verge of a knockout at several moments. "It's what I expected, that's what he's known for," Paul said of Diaz. "I don't know how he survived that first round, but he's a dog, and I walk the dog." Jake showed he was better conditioned throughout his first fight after a split decision loss against Tommy Fury in Saudi Arabia in February. The 3 judges scored this one in Paul's favor. The 38-year-old Diaz, making his pro boxing debut, struck several blows near the end of the 3rd round, briefly leaving Jake wobbly before the bell. Diaz continued on the offense in the 4th round, landing several jabs. "He did a great job. He's an athletic, strong dude," said Diaz, who regretted not training harder for the event. In the 5th round, Diaz appeared fatigued, and Jake Paul jumped on the opportunity. He sent Diaz briefly to the floor with a clean left hook before landing successive blows to Diaz's head later in the round. Diaz scored with a combination of punches in the 7th, and both fighters exchanged blows during a particularly eventful 8th round. However, Diaz looked like he was moments from being knocked out on several occasions. "It was fun. I knew he was trying to take breaks, so I would pounce on him when he was doing that," Jake Paul said. This win was Jake Paul's 3rd against a former UFC fighter. What do you guys think of Jake Paul's newest win? Were you betting on him or against him? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button to receive all future notifications on the latest.